Isn't this gorgeous? Each of the months, your studies. So, what do you think? Some pencil crayons. Perhaps before you begin your writing. I thought this would be helpful. Hi again. Yeah, I am thrilled as well to be setting up your desk for another season of creative writing and inspiration. While you relax right here beside me and watch me set up your desk, I will also record the setup from above so that you can watch it back later if you want to revisit the logic behind the styling and the components I've selected, such as stationery, writing tools, books, and other elements that we'll explore in a few moments. But while I dust the surface of your desk, I want to just recap what I've learned from the forms you filled out recently. Okay, perfect. So, I understand that you are writing a new literary novel, and your main character, while out walking in the forest, witnesses a strange incident. Okay. So the novel revolves around this strange and surreal incident, and the main character returns to the forest each day to try to unravel this mystery and learns some forest secrets along the way. Anything else? Okay. What a captivating summary. I cannot wait to read it one day. Now, you have expressed interest in creating a color palette that would evoke the emotion and ambiance of the forest and mirror the setting of your novel. I love this idea. We decided against earth tones. In favor of some blues and greens, using these paint chips as our guide. These blues and greens reflect the mood and the tone and textures of the physical setting of your novel. I narrowed down further from these to these two colors right here. This one is dark Everglades and this one is compass blue. So I narrowed down to these two colors to form the base of your desk setup and to reflect the lake and the forest of your story. Yeah, so these paint chips were very helpful to me as I shopped and carefully selected all the elements for your desk this season. And from these deeper colors, I also brought a sprinkling of lighter tints that you will soon see. So let's get started looking first at Stationery. You'll be writing this novel on your laptop, right? Yes. So the laptop is in the drawer below us here in this desk, but you specified that you want to do a lot of your research and note-taking. You want to do a lot of research and note-taking to support your process. So let's begin with the planner that I selected. I know, isn't this gorgeous? 2026. It's hard to believe that it's 2026 already. So as you can see, this planner picks up on the deeper tones. This is a deep, deep blue background and the deep green as well. Yeah, these accents of white and the brighter blue and this light red or orange, like a red orange. It looks so beautiful against these deeper colors. So, from what I understand, you already have a planner for work and life, and you wanted a planner specifically for writing your novel. Is that right? Okay. So, this will keep your novel writing very organized, beginning with this pocket here for anything that you pick up along the way and that you want at the ready. Yeah, it's like both sides here. So here you have the year at a glance and 2027 at a glance. And then for contacts, what I thought you could do, I know you'll be doing a lot of research, and I thought that you could keep the contact information here of any researchers that you consult with, any experts, because I know there's a lot of natural conservation related to your novel and as part of the mystery, right? So you've got 2 pages. You know, you could also keep the contact info of your librarians, the librarians you consult with as well. That can be very handy to have right here. And then you can see all these tabs here for the months. And here you have goals and to-do list, additional notes. So this can help organize your month. Here it is again at a glance. So if you have appointments with people you will be interviewing, or if you're going to visit a museum or another research location, you can write it down here and see the month at a glance. But then here is where each week, Monday to Sunday, you can write down your word counts. You were saying you were thinking of writing about 1,000 words a day, so you can keep track. You can keep your scene work and chapter work here. You said also that you would try to cover a few chapters per week, so you can keep track of that in these spaces where you've got space for a little more information. And then at the back of each month, you have notes, a notes section. Yeah, I like that too. So it's like that for each of the months. And I believe there are some extra pages at the back for notes. Yes, so what do you think of this organization and these ideas for using this planner to specifically plan your novel? You love it? Perfect. I'm so happy you love this. I thought it was beautiful as well. So let's see what we have next. I'll just move this to the side and we will slowly work on the design of your setup. So here are two more books for writing, and I'll start with this one. So this is something, it is a staple that I myself purchase every year for my own writing, and a lot of my clients have gotten into this as well. I use a small journal for when I'm out in the wild and I am just, maybe I'm on a subway. Maybe I have just driven somewhere and I'm about to get out of my car and I have an idea I want to write down. Maybe I'm speaking with somebody and I want to write down a few notes. This is the perfect size to just slip in your bag. Then you can bring it back to your desk, go over your notes, add some details to your plans, and then type up the novel as part of your daily practice. You like this too? Yeah, that's what a lot of my clients say. So let's go with that. Yes, it is moleskin. Okay, let's just set that to the side. Yeah, exactly. Like I thought, when you're out in the forest, I know that you wanted to kind of mimic the actions of your protagonist. You wanted to get out into the forest, take notes, and experience what it would be like to be your character, witnessing the strange and surreal incident in the forest and following up by going back out there every day and trying to search for clues. So this is interesting, and I feel lucky to have found this. You mentioned that your main character is a poet. Okay. So that's how they came upon the strange and surreal incident. They were actually out in the woods writing poetry in a little journal themselves. So they were out walking in the forest and writing poetry. So this here is a Mary Oliver inspired journal. It's called This Wild and Precious Life. You can see the geese here in the V formation. And these colors are just gorgeous, and they go so well with what you had in mind. I'll read this for you. As a poet with evergreen curiosity, Mary Oliver's acclaimed body of work is replete with penetrating observations and queries about ourselves and our surroundings. What did you notice? What will engage you? What is so utterly invisible as tomorrow? This journal, filled with dozens of quotes and poems from Oliver's collection, is dedicated to you. She asks you one thing. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? And so these pages will have little quotes from her poems or other writings and illustrations, and you can see there's little dots there to keep your writing in line. You are so excited about this? I nailed it for you? Yeah, I just was like, how perfect is this for you and the novel that you are writing? Again, I'm not sure if you would take this with you when you go out into nature to try to mimic the activities of your main character. Maybe you would write some poems in here, rough ideas, and bring them home and write here, imagining what your main character would write about, what they witness, what they see. Yeah, you'd like to keep it at home. Yeah, I would do the same. It's just something I would want to keep on my desk. And it's made of this canvasy material. Yeah, so I think these two will really help your process. And then, because you plan to go to a lot of museums, right? The Natural Science Museum and a museum for nature studies, and you'll be visiting conservation areas and talking to forest rangers, that you might be picking up pamphlets and papers and brochures along the way. So I just thought that this folder would be helpful. What do you think? We have this little crescent moon. This looks like a Scotch pine. And in the distance here you can see all these evergreens. You think this will suit that purpose? Okay, perfect. I'm so happy that you are getting excited with these pieces. So how about we start to arrange this just a little bit, although we will likely move some things around as we go. How about that for now? And do you want me to put this in your drawer? Okay. This too? Okay. Let's move on to writing tools now. Yeah, this really matches your color palette. So I agree. I just think it's perfect. I wanted to mention, you had said that you wanted to have some new elements, and that's where these come in, where within your budget, you would allow for some new purchases, and you were interested this time in our lending library. So these 2 pens here are refillable. They're currently empty. We can lend these out to you at no charge, and there's some inks that we have here, and at a very low cost to you, I could fill them up, and it saves you quite a bit. So I think it would be just $1. Yeah, just about $1 to fill these up, and it should last you the season. So this one here is called Mirror Mirror, and this one is Tanzanite Sky. So I could fill these 2 pens for you, and it would cost you next to nothing and keep you right on budget. And yet I think that it would be quite inspiring to use these inks. They're very beautiful. This is like a teal, and this it does come out a purpley navy, closer to a navy with just a touch of a deep purple, like an indigo, I'd say. So what do you think? Yes, you'd like to borrow these 2 refillable pens. Okay, perfect. These three here, these are fine tip pens, a kind of a marker, and this is like a blue-gray. It reminded me of the fog that you see at dusk in the forest. Yeah, like a blue steel gray. What do you think? You love all of these? So I did purchase these ones, and they did stay within your budget, so I was really pleased with that. This is a treat. I loved finding this. So what we have here is some pencil crayons. They are made in Italy, and I thought, because your main character, in addition to writing poetry, likes to sketch in the margins, so I thought this would be a good activity for you to do while you're getting into character. It might allow you just to kind of daydream about the story and get your creative juices flowing, perhaps before you begin your writing. I know, aren't they gorgeous? Yeah, I can't get over how beautiful these colors are. This was a little bit of a splurge, but we're still within budget. Yes, I did purchase this, so this is not something I can loan out because I purchased this specifically for your desk setup. I can return it if you love it. I thought you would love it. Which pencil crayon would you like to see? This green one here? Yeah, so this is shaped in a way that makes for an easy grip. Yeah, they're a little bigger, and I have a pencil sharpener specifically for this set that will be helpful to you. I'm so happy that you love this. Yeah, it's a sweet little surprise to have around your desk so that exactly just to add a little whimsy. And you know, when you have writer's block, if you get writer's block and you just want to color in the margins where you've written some poems or a poem, it can be very nice, very relaxing, and get ideas flowing. I'm so happy that you love this. Do you want me to set this in the drawer below? Okay. Now I know that you'll be doing a lot of research. You've got quite a few books on your shelf here that you mentioned you'll be referring to. And I've brought a few books as well. So I knew that you would need some annotation tabs. Right? Like, look at this color scheme. It is absolutely perfect for what we were thinking with the palette. If you think for sure that you'd like these, then I'll go ahead and open them up. Yes, you like these? Okay. Yes, it does have a little ruler here. Comes with this ruler. So this can be handy. These will just go right in. They'll set right in there. And so you'll have it at the ready. So if you are underlining, highlighting some sections of a book and flagging, or if you even want to write a little bit in the margins and you want to keep it very neat, then you've got this ruler. Additionally, you could bring this with you when you're out in the forest, and if you needed to measure something, you've got the ruler right there. So I know these colors are just gorgeous. So place this here for now. As for books, yes, Mary Oliver was a nature poet. She wrote a lot of poetry and essays about nature. And since your main character is a poet, I thought this would be helpful. Yes, there are some beautiful illustrations in here. This feather. And owls and other fantasies, poems, and essays. So there are some short essays, you can see here, along with poems. And this here, I thought, I got a little carried away and just flagged some sections for you, but this is selected essays upstream. Do you want me to read this to you? Okay. It says here, I had to go, this is a quote from the book. I had to go out into the world and see it and hear it and react to it before I knew at all who I was, what I wanted to be. It reminds you of your main character? Okay, perfect. So begins Upstream, a collection of essays in which revered poet Mary Oliver reflects on her willingness to lose herself within the beauty and mysteries of the natural world and the world of literature, emphasizing the significance of her childhood friend Walt Whitman, who inspired her to vanish into the world of her own writing. Oliver meditates on the forces that allow her to create a life for herself out of work and love. Through this collection, Oliver positions not just herself upstream, but us as well, as she encourages us all to keep moving, to lose ourselves in the awe of the unknown, and to give power and time to the creative and whimsical urges that live within us. This is bang on? I thought so, yeah. Yeah, your character reminds you a lot of Mary Oliver. So we will place these books up here. There we go. And you mentioned you'll do a lot of your writing early mornings at the crack of dawn. And you'll also do some writing at night. But you wanted me to set up a coffee mug for the morning. I found this. It reminds me of that blueness that you see and you look up and see stars appearing when you are walking out in the woods in the winter. Yeah, you can see that too. Okay, yeah, it's a nice size. It's got a nice, firm, strong handle here. So I will place this here for your coffee. And I've brought in some very nice coffee beans that I've placed beside your coffee maker. So that will be a little surprise for you in the morning when you make your coffee. And getting back to staying on budget, yes, that's what I was doing when I was snooping around your house earlier. You let me look around to find a few things. And I found the beautiful bowl of crystals and pulled out the ones I thought would go with this color scheme. I'm not really familiar with what these crystals mean or what their names are. Could you share them with me? For example, what is this one? Okay. And how about this? And the attributes of this one? Okay. And this one? Oh, nice. So do you think the energies of these will help you with your writing and align with the mood of this table, of this desk? Yes? Oh, we're lucky. That just happened to work out so well because the colors are so beautiful. And they just add a little bit of magic and wonder and hope and intention to your writing experience. I also found this beautiful, simple little candle holder, and it really matches our color scheme here. And I placed a new little tea light. This is honey. It's just about the only candle I use with my desk setup these days. A lot of people prefer the honey candles, yeah. For the everyday, when you're working all the time, you want a nice, healthy candle like this that's good quality and is not harmful. So, what do you think? Yes to this as well. I'm going to light this. I also have a plant that I found in your little library area. Just trying to position this here. So I think we'll go like this. And I'll bring in the plant and then we will light the candle. This is a gorgeous pot that I found in your library. And what a cute little library you have there with plants and bookshelves. You wouldn't have remembered to bring this in, but yeah, you agree? Ah, I know. It's such a gorgeous teal. It really goes with our color scheme. And you were really wanting to keep things in a tighter budget, so you did want to bring in a few things that you already have around the house. You know what? I think that's the best way of making a desk setup. I think blending some old and some new is the best way to keep things budget friendly and also revisit an item that maybe you've ignored or forgotten about. Yeah, so let's place this right here. I'm going to play around with this arrangement and light the candle. Now we have a warm light with a very soothing honey scent. Yeah, you love that too? So what do you think of this setup along with the things that we have? Along with the things we have in your drawer. You love everything. And you're so excited to get started on your novel. That's what I love to hear. You know, I'm really excited about your novel as well. I can't wait to read this novel when it is published. Do you plan on seeking out an agent, or do you have a publisher in mind, or are you thinking of self-publishing? Oh, that's so exciting. Well, it was my pleasure. I'm so happy you love it, and I wish you all the best with your writing practice this season. Wonderful. I will check in in a few weeks and see how it's working out for you. Okay, thank you so much.